So here we have a problem where we're asked to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. So that means that we want to find the answer in slope-intercept form. Remember that your slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So that's how we want our answer to be, but that may not be the way that we find our answer. So we're given a point and we're given a slope. So that means that we want to use the point-slope form to find the equation of our line. So once we use the point-slope form, then we can rewrite it into the slope-intercept form. Point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So m is my slope, and then the point that we're going to be using, 3, negative 4, I'm going to put that in where there's an x sub 1 and a y sub 1 in my formula. So this y and this x, I'm not going to put anything in for those. I'm just going to be putting something in for this x sub 1, y sub 1. That's where my point's going to go. And then I'm going to put my slope in for m. So doing that, I end up with y minus a negative 4, using the negative 4 from up here, equals 4/3, which is my slope, times the quantity x minus, and my point, my x-coordinate is 3. Remember that when we have two negatives, that makes a positive, so we can rewrite this then as y plus 4 equals, and on the right side we're going to use our distributive property. We're going to multiply 4/3 times x, and we're going to be multiplying 4/3 times 3. And if it helps you, when you're multiplying 4/3 times 3, you can write that as 3 over 1. On the left, we end up with y plus 4 equals 4/3 x minus, and then realizing that our 3's cancel out, which is nice, that leaves us with just 4. So now I've taken my equation, I put my information into the point-slope form, and I want to rewrite this now into my slope-intercept form. So that means I want to get y by itself. To do that, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And I end up with y equals 4/3 x minus 8. And that's the equation of my line in slope-intercept form. The second problem we're going to do, and again we're looking for the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. We're given 2 points. And remember, to find the equation of a line, we're going to need to know their slope. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is find the slope of this line. So remember that my slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And I always label my points to make sure that I put them in the correct order into my equation. So now I can rewrite this as negative 2 minus 6 over 3 minus a negative 3. So make sure you put those double negatives in there. The top becomes negative 8, and the denominator, remember, the 2 negatives make a positive, becomes positive 6. And then you always want to reduce your slope if you can. There's a common factor of 2 in both of these, so it becomes negative 4/3. So my slope is negative 4/3. Once I have the slope, and I can pick either point, it doesn't matter which one I pick, I can go ahead and use my point-slope form to find the equation of my line. So remember that your point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. I have my slope. I picked just one of these points. And for this particular problem, I'm going to use the point, so we have m is negative 4/3. I'm going to use this second point here. I'm going to use the point 3, negative 2. So that's what I'm going to put in when I have an x sub 1 and a y sub 1. So now, using my formula, y minus y sub 1, which is negative 2, is equal to negative 4/3 times the quantity x minus 3. Again, double negative here makes a positive, so y plus 2 equals distributive property, negative 4/3 x, and then a negative times a negative gives me a positive 4/3 thirds times 3, and you can write it as 3 over 1 if that helps. So y plus 2 equals negative 4 thirds x plus, and again, I can cancel out like factors, so it becomes just plus 4. To get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Y equals negative 4 thirds x plus 2. And that is my slope-intercept form. Remember that your slope-intercept form is the y equals mx plus b. And that's the form that we use when we go to graph a line.